He emerged from the mist with bones strapped to his back, silent, barefoot, eyes hollow with memory. Not a trophy, it's not a ritual, but a burden. Each step crushed leaves that once heard screams. This was no tale of revenge. It was something far more haunting. In the deepest part of the jungle, a man walked alone, carrying the remains of the very one who once tried to kill him. They say some wounds never heal, but this one ran deeper than skin and sinew. You see, there's a difference between hating someone and being consumed by it. One can fester, the other can define you. This man chose the latter. I am your host. Welcome to the channel. Today we will look at the man who hated. Years ago, the jungle echoed with their battles, a symphony of clashing wood and steel. Two warriors, Locke and Rout, danced their deadly ballet. Every scar on their bodies told a tale of those encounters. But the story didn't start with the fight. It started long before, deep within their souls. Born under different moons, raised in different lands, their destinies intertwined at a young age. Their tribes, locked in a blood feud older than the oldest tree, had taught them one lesson: trust no one. Kill or be killed. When they met, both were shadows, hunters, trackers, warriors, everything the jungle demanded. Their first encounter wasn't a surprise, it was a collision. No words were exchanged. Why would they? The language of the jungle was understood. With glances, gestures, scents, the air crackled with tension as they circled each other. Sizing up, reading every twitch, every stance. Then the dance began. It wasn't a fair fight, not by any standard. Both were skilled, both were cunning, both were desperate. The only goal was to outlast, to outsmart, to dominate. They fought as two sides of the same coin, each move mirroring the other, each strike predicting its counter. As the years rolled by, their battles became legendary. Stealth was their weapon of choice. Ambush was their anthem. Their tactics, born from necessity, honed to perfection. The jungle itself was their training ground. Trees were their allies, animals their confidants, and the whispers of the wind carried tales of their exploits. But something shifted as the years turned into decades. The dance became more personal, the stakes higher, each scar, each wound, a testament to their rivalry. But beneath the fury, a change was brewing, something neither had anticipated. Because the truth is, we often hate what we secretly admire. In their endless battles, respect had sprouted, watered by mutual pain and admiration. It was a dangerous seed, one that threatened to upend their worldviews, one that questioned everything they'd ever known. Then came the storm that changed everything. Thunder roared, wind howled, and rain lashed the jungle. The elements themselves seemed to be in turmoil. It was during that chaos that their final battle unfolded. Lightning illuminated the clearing, revealing two figures locked in a deadly embrace. Spears flashed, muscles strained, and determination shone in their eyes. This wasn't about land, power, or glory. It was about survival, about legacy, about proving who was the better hunter. But Locke found himself hesitating, not because he feared Rout, but because he saw a reflection of himself in the wild determination in the other man's eyes. It was a recognition that shook him to his core, a realization that bridged the divide they'd built so carefully over the years. As the fight raged on, Locke's movements became slower, not out of fatigue, but out of contemplation. He remembered all those battles, the victories, the defeats, the grudging respect he'd harbored for his rival. And then it hit him, the weight of their endless strife. What had it brought them? Decades of pain, loss, and solitude. Was this what they were destined for? To keep fighting until one of them ceased to rise with the sun? As the storm reached its crescendo, Locke found himself making a choice, one that would define not just their fates, but the future of their tribes. His spear faltered, his grip loosened. And in that moment, Rout sensed his hesitation, his confusion. For a fleeting moment, their eyes met, and in that exchange, years of animosity melted away. Seeing the humanity in his enemy's eyes, the weariness, the pain, the longing for peace, changed everything. Locke lowered his spear slowly, the jungle watching in stunned silence. It was a small gesture, but its impact echoed through the ages. This wasn't surrender, it was recognition. They were two sides of the same coin, two reflections in a shattered mirror. Instead of delivering the final blow, Locke turned away, a single tear tracing its way down his weathered face. He couldn't explain it, not even to himself. All he knew was that he didn't want to kill this man, not after all they'd been through. He wanted to understand, to connect, to find common ground. As he disappeared into the thick foliage, the rain intensified, washing away the blood, sweat, and tears of countless battles. The jungle exhaled, as if releasing the tension of decades. The storm raged on, but within its fury, a new understanding was born. There are moments in life that defy logic, that challenge our perceptions, that force us to confront the complexities of our existence. Such was the case with Locke, who now found himself grappling with emotions he'd long suppressed. Hate had been his compass for so long that the sudden shift towards understanding left him disoriented. Beneath that turmoil, a flicker of curiosity ignited. He yearned to know more about Rote, not as his enemy, but as a fellow human being. What drove him? What were his hopes, dreams, and fears? How did he reconcile his actions with his conscience? These questions echoed in Locke's mind, demanding answers. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Locke found himself drawn back to the clearing where their final battle had taken place. The jungle had healed, the wounds had closed, and the echoes of the storm had faded into distant memory. Yet Locke couldn't shake off the image of Rote's resolute face, the glint of determination in his eyes. It was as if the jungle itself was urging him to seek closure, to understand the enigma that was his enemy. Driven by this inexplicable urge, Locke ventured deeper into the heart of the jungle. He followed the winding paths, deciphered the rustling leaves, and listened intently to the whispers of the wind. The jungle, with its ancient wisdom, seemed to guide him, leading him closer to the truth. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the forest floor, Locke found himself standing before a cave veiled in mist and legend. It was said that the cave held secrets, echoes of the past that whispered to those who dared to listen. With a deep breath, he stepped inside. As his eyes adjusted to the dim light filtering through cracks in the cave ceiling, he saw it, a mural painted on the far wall. It depicted the history of the tribes, their battles, their losses, their pain. And there they were, Locke and Root, immortalized in paint, locked in their eternal dance of conflict. But as he gazed at the mural, something struck him. It wasn't just a depiction of their battles. It was a testament to their shared humanity, their similarities, their hopes, their dreams, their fears. In that moment, the walls of the cave seemed to crumble, and Locke was filled with a profound sense of connection, not just with Root, but with his ancestors. Their struggles, their sacrifices, their endurance. Emerging from the cave, the night had deepened, and the stars twinkled like celestial guides above him. Locke felt transformed. He realized that understanding his enemy was not a sign of weakness, but a path to enlightenment. The cave had shown him the bigger picture, the futility of their endless strife, the need for change. With renewed purpose, he set off in search of Rote, determined to end their cycle of violence, to forge a new path, not for himself, but for generations to come. His journey was not just about finding his enemy, it was about finding himself. They say that love is the answer, but sometimes understanding is the beginning. That's what Locke discovered as he walked deeper into the jungle, guided by the stars and driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge. He didn't know what lay ahead, but he knew that their story, the story of their tribes, the story of the jungle itself, was about to change. If you enjoyed this story, check out more content where battles become a dance of understanding and enemies become teachers of life's greatest lessons. Subscribe, like, and comment on The Forgotten Path, where truth hides in shadows and every step reveals a lesson the world forgot. Until next time, may your path be filled with light and your choices lead to understanding.